Cheating stories she betrayed me with her boss and tried to take everything. If this story moved, you don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I found a birth control pill under the couch glinting like a betrayal in the morning light. But I'd had a vasectomy years ago. My name is Wesley Holt, and I thought I'd built a life worth envying. A charming colonial house in Charlottesville, Virginia, a thriving real estate investment firm, and a wife who could light up a room with her smile. Audrey Vance, with her warm laugh and quick wit, was my partner through 18 years of marriage. We had 2 kids, Lila 16 and Noah 14, who filled our home with chaos and joy. I wasn't flawless. Late nights closing deals sometimes left Audrey alone, and my temper flared under stress, but I adored her, believed in us. This is my cheating wife story, and it's a knife I never saw coming. It started with a nagging unease like a melody out of tune. Audrey began staying late at the bank where she managed corporate accounts. Her excuses polished but vague client dinners, she'd say, brushing her auburn hair from her eyes. Her wardrobe shifted, sleek dresses replaced her usual blazers, and her perfume, once soft and floral, turned bold, unfamiliar. I found that pill a month ago, tucked beneath the couch where Noah played video games. My vasectomy was a mutual choice after Lila's birth complications. Audrey hadn't needed pills in years. My stomach twisted, but I swallowed the doubt. Maybe it was a friend's drop during a visit. Maybe. The first twist came at a company barbecue. Eric Stanton, Audrey's boss, was there, all easy charm and tailored charisma. Mid-40s with a firm handshake and a knack for making clients feel like family. He ran the bank's wealth management division. His wife Nora, a soft-spoken pediatrician, hovered nearby. Her smile strained. I noticed Audrey linger near Eric, their laughter too intimate, her hand grazing his arm. My colleague Rachel caught my eye and frowned. "They're close, huh?" she said, her tone careful. I shrugged it off, but the seed was planted. That night, Audrey's phone buzzed at 1 a.m. She silenced it, but not before I saw ES on the screen. Eric Stanton. My throat tightened. I didn't want to be the jealous type, but the pill, the late nights. The laughter, they stacked like bricks in my mind. I started paying attention. Audrey's gym bag held a new silk scarf, one I hadn't bought. Her car smelled of cologne, sharp and masculine. One evening, I checked her coat pocket for keys and found a receipt, $78 for cocktails at a rooftop bar downtown, dated last Tuesday, when she'd claimed to be at a team meeting alone. I stood in our kitchen, the receipt crumpling in my fist, the hum of the fridge deafening in the silence. The second twist was my own doing. I installed a discreet camera in our living room, hidden in a bookshelf, and a GPS tracker on Audrey's car. Guilt gnawed at me, but I needed truth. A week later, I was in Richmond for a property auction, checking the camera feed on my laptop. At 8:42 p.m., Audrey walked in with Eric. They didn't hesitate. She poured wine and he pulled her close, their kiss-hungry practiced. My chest caved in. I watched numb as they moved to the couch. Her laughter, filling the space where our kids played the GPS, confirmed it. Her car had been at a hotel the night of the team meeting. I closed the laptop, my hands shaking, and stared at the hotel ceiling, replaying every lie she'd told. I didn't confront her, not yet. Anger simmered, but I channeled it into clarity. I hired a private investigator, Olivia Grant, a no-nonsense woman who'd seen too many cheating stories to flinch. Olivia dug into Audrey's digital life, emails, texts, bank records. Within days, she had proof, late-night messages to Eric, hotel bookings, even a $5,000 transfer from our joint account to an account Olivia traced to Eric's personal LLC. "They're not just lovers," Olivia said, her voice clipped. "They're planning something, maybe a getaway, maybe more." The money was for home renovations, Audrey had said. Another lie. The third twist cut deeper. I found a letter in Audrey's desk, half-written, "Never sent Eric. You're my escape. I can't keep pretending with Wes." My name reduced to a burden. The letter mentioned our future, a phrase that burned into my brain. I cross-checked our accounts. Another $10,000 was gone, funneled to the same LLC. This wasn't just an affair. It was a betrayal of our family, our kids. I thought of Lila's college fund, Noah's braces, the life we'd built. Audrey was dismantling it for him. I met Rachel, my colleague, for coffee. She'd always been a friend, steady and kind, her dark eyes reading me better than I liked. "Wes, you're not yourself," she said. I told her everything. The pill, the camera, the money. Her face hardened. "Audrey's always been charming. Too charming. I saw her with Eric at a fundraiser last year. It wasn't professional." Rachel's words confirmed what I feared. This wasn't new. The affair had roots, and I'd been blind. She squeezed my hand. You deserve better. Her touch lingered a warmth I hadn't felt in months, but I pulled back. I wasn't ready to feel anything but rage. The fourth twist was a gut punch Olivia called with a bombshell. Eric had a history of affairs, each with a subordinate at the bank. Nora, his wife, had suspected, but stayed silent. Her career and kids tethering her. Olivia also found Audrey's search history on her work laptop, queries about offshore accounts and quick property sales. She's not just leaving you. Olivia said she's trying to take everything. I checked our firm's assets. Audrey had access to my business accounts, a trust I'd never questioned. Panic surged, but I acted fast. I met a lawyer, Ethan Caldwell, who specialized in asset protection. We'll lock down your finances, Ethan said. But you need to move now. I transferred my firm's assets to a holding company, citing restructuring. Audrey didn't notice. She was too busy with Eric. The camera caught them again, planning in hushed tones. Once we sell the house, Eric said, we're set. My house. My kids' home. My fury crystallized into a plan. Not revenge, not yet, but survival. I'd let them think they'd won. Let them dig their own graves. But a question haunted me. How long had Audrey been this stranger? And what else was she hiding? The letter's words, Eric, you're my escape, seared into my mind as I stood in our home office, the faint glow of Audrey's desk lamp casting shadows on the walls. Outside Charlottesville slept under a blanket of stars, but sleep was a stranger to me. The camera feed looped in my head. Audrey and Eric plotting to sell our asterisk house, their voices casual like my life was a footnote. The $15,000 they'd siphoned from our accounts burned in my chest. But I didn't storm into the bedroom where Audrey slept, oblivious to my discovery. Rage was a fire, but I'd learned to wield it like a blade. I slipped the letter back into her desk, my plan taking shape in the silence. The next morning, I moved with precision. Ethan, my lawyer, had already secured my firm's assets, transferring them to a holding company Audrey couldn't touch. I met him at his office, a sleek space downtown with a view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. She's got no legal claim now, Ethan said, sliding a contract across the desk. But your personal accounts are still joint. We need to freeze them. I nodded, signing the papers. Ethan leaned back, his eyes sharp. Wes, this could get ugly. If she's moving money offshore, she's not just cheating, she's calculating. I thought of the birth control pill. The rooftop bar receipt, calculating didn't begin to cover it. The first twist came that afternoon. Olivia, the PI, sent me a file audio from a bug she'd placed in Audrey's car. I listened in my office. The door locked as Audrey's voice filled my headphones. Eric, we need to move faster, she said, her tone urgent. Wes is distracted with work. He won't notice the house listing. Eric's laugh was smug. Listed under my LLC. By the time he figures it out, we'll be in Savannah. The word hit like a punch. They weren't just stealing money. They were planning to vanish, to uproot Lila and Noah without a word. The audio cut to Audrey sighing. I feel bad about the kids, but they'll adjust. My vision blurred. My kids' asterisk. Our asterisk kids. She was willing to tear their world apart for him. I didn't confront her. Instead, I dug deeper. Olivia traced the LLC to a shell company Eric had set up, tied to a Savannah condo already in escrow. The $15,000 was a down payment funded by our joint account. I checked the account myself. Another $8,000 was gone, withdrawn in small chunks to avoid suspicion. Audrey's cover story was charity donations, but the transfers matched Eric's LLC. I called Rachel, needing her steady perspective. We met at a quiet cafe, the scent of espresso grounding me. She's not the woman you married, Rachel said, her voice soft but firm. She's gambling your family for a fantasy. I stared at my coffee, the steam curling like my doubts. What if I'm wrong? I asked. Rachel's hand brushed mine, brief but warm. You're not trust your gut. Her belief in me was a lifeline, but I couldn't linger in her kindness. Not yet. The second twist was a knife to the heart. I asked Olivia to investigate further, focusing on Lila and Noah. The birth control pill haunted me. Could Audrey have lied about more than money I'd raised? Those kids coached Noah's soccer games, braided Lila's hair for prom. They were mine, but doubt crept in. Olivia arranged discreet DNA tests using hair from their brushes. Waiting for the results was agony. Each day a battle to act normal. Audrey noticed my distance, her eyes narrowing one evening as we washed dishes. You okay, Wes? She asked, her voice too sweet. I forced a smile. Just work. She nodded, but her hand lingered on her phone, texting under the counter. I checked the camera later. Eric was in our living room that night, their whispers inaudible, but their closeness ablaid. When the DNA results came, I opened the email alone in my car parked outside my office. Lila was mine. Relief flooded me. But Noah, no match. The words blurred on the screen. My son, the boy who'd clung to me during thunderstorms, wasn't mine biologically. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles white, as memories flashed Audrey's business trips when Noah was conceived, her insistence on naming him after her grandfather. I wasn't just betrayed. I was erased. The pain wasn't just for me, it was for Noah, who'd lose the father he knew. If this exploded, I drove aimlessly, the Virginia hills a blur, wrestling with what to do. Confronting Audrey would shatter our family. Silence would let her win. The third twist came from an unexpected ally, Nora, Eric's wife. She called me, her voice trembling but resolute. "Wesley, I know about Audrey and Eric. I've known for months. We met at a park. Her pediatrician's scrubs wrinkled her eyes red. She'd found Eric's burner phone filled with texts to Audrey about Savannah, the condo. The money, he's done this before." Nora said, her voice breaking, "I stayed for our daughter, but I'm done." She handed me a USB drive, bank records, texts. Even a draft listing for our house forged in my name. "I'm not letting him ruin you," she said. Her pain mirrored mine, 2 lives. Collateral damage to their greed. I thanked her, my resolve hardening. Nora wasn't just a victim, she was a weapon. I escalated my plan. Ethan drafted a divorce petition citing infidelity and financial misconduct, but I held off filing. I wanted Audrey and Eric to feel the walls closing in first. Olivia hacked into Audrey's work email, finding a thread with Eric about cleaning their accounts. They'd moved $20,000 more this time to an offshore account in the Caymans. I contacted a forensic accountant, Claire Nguyen, who traced the funds. "They're sloppy," Claire said, her laptop glowing with spreadsheets. "The bank will notice soon if you tip them off. They're done. I didn't tip anyone yet." Instead, I sent an anonymous email to Eric's bank VP hinting at irregularities in his department. Let him sweat. The fourth twist was Audrey's desperation. The camera caught her pacing our kitchen on the phone with Eric. "Wes is acting weird," she said, her voice tight. "What if he knows?" Eric's reply was sharp. "Then we leave now. Sell the house, take the kids." My blood ran cold. Take the kids. I checked Lila and Noah's passports. Audrey had renewed them last month, claiming it was routine. She was planning to flee, to drag them into her new life without me. I called Ethan, who filed an emergency motion to block her access to the kids' documents. "You're playing chess, Wes," he said. "Stay 3 moves ahead." I was trying, but each move felt like betraying the family I'd fought for. The fifth twist was my own unraveling. Rachel invited me to dinner, sensing my strain. Over pasta at her apartment. I confessed the DNA results, my voice cracking. "Noah's not mine, but he's asterisk, my asterisk son." Rachel's eyes softened. "You're his dad, Wes. Biology doesn't change that." Her words anchored me, but so did her presence, her quiet strength, the way she listened without judgment. For a moment, I imagined a life beyond this pain, but guilt stopped me. I was still married, still a father. I thanked Rachel and left the night air heavy with what-ifs. Back home, I found Audrey's scarf on the couch, the silk one I hadn't bought. It smelled of Eric's cologne. I burned it in the backyard, the flames licking the darkness. The sixth twist came from Lila. She cornered me one morning, her eyes fierce. "Dad, why's Mom sneaking around? I saw her with Mr. Stanton at the mall. They weren't working." My heart sank. Lila, my perceptive daughter, had seen the truth I'd shielded her from. I hugged her, promising to fix it, but inside I was spiraling. Noah was oblivious, playing soccer in the yard, but Lila's words meant the facade was cracking. That night, the camera showed Audrey and Eric arguing. "If Wes knows we're done," she hissed. Eric grabbed her wrist. "Then make him back off." My hand hovered over my phone, ready to call Ethan. But Olivia texted, "Check the bank's server." Now, what did Olivia find? And what did Eric mean by "make him back off"? This asterisk cheating story, asterisk teeters on the edge. Was I protecting my family or lighting a fuse I couldn't control? Love is a promise, I told Lila once. But promises break. Olivia's text burned on my screen. Check the bank's server. Now. My fingers fumbled as I opened the secure link she'd sent, heart pounding in the stillness of my car parked outside our Charlottesville home. The server data revealed a bombshell. Audrey had accessed the bank's client database, downloading sensitive records to a private drive. The files weren't just routine. They included offshore account details linked to Eric's LLC. This wasn't just an affair or a cash grab. It was a heist, and Audrey was neck deep. Inside, she and Eric argued, their voices sharp through the living room camera. "Make him back off," Eric had said. My gut twisted. Were they desperate enough to come after me? I gripped the steering wheel, the night air thick with impending rain. I didn't storm in. Instead, I forwarded Olivia's findings to Ethan, my lawyer, with a single instruction. "Prepare everything," Ethan called within minutes, his voice taut. "This is fraud, Wes. If we leak this to the bank, they're both done. But it'll drag your name through the mud, too." I didn't care about my name anymore. Lila and Noah were my line in the sand. I texted Nora, Eric's wife, updating her on the server breach. "I'm ready," she replied. "Let's end this." Her resolve mirrored mine. Two strangers forged into allies by betrayal. The camera feed showed Audrey packing a duffel bag, Eric pacing. They were spooked, unraveling, but I wasn't ready to strike. Not yet. The first twist came at dawn. Lila texted me her message, frantic. "Dad, Mom's taking us to Grandma's today. She's acting weird." My blood ran cold. Audrey wasn't just running, she was trying to take the kids now. I called Ethan, who filed an emergency custody motion citing Audrey's financial misconduct and unstable behavior. "It's temporary," he said, "but it'll keep Lila and Noah with you." I drove to the house, my pulse racing, and found Audrey loading suitcases into her car. Lila and Noah stood on the porch, confused. "Wes." Audrey's eyes widened, her voice shaky. "You're supposed to be at work." I stepped closer, my tone ice. "You're not taking them." She froze, then forced a smile. "It's just a visit." I held up my phone, the custody motion glowing. "Try me." Audrey backed off, her face pale, and took the kids inside. I followed, keeping my distance, my hand on my phone in case she bolted. Noah hugged me, oblivious, but Lila's eyes were sharp, searching. "What's going on, Dad?" she whispered. I squeezed her shoulder. "Trust me, kid." Inside, Audrey's duffel bag lay open. Passports, cash, a burner phone. She was ready to disappear. I texted Olivia. "She's moving, watch." Eric, Olivia replied instantly. "He's at the bank. Looks nervous." The noose was tightening, but I needed more than suspicion. I needed them caught red-handed. The second twist was Nora's doing. She arrived at our house an hour later, her pediatrician's calm replaced by steel. "Wesley, I sent the server data to the bank's compliance officer anonymously," she said, her voice low. "They're launching an internal investigation today." Her USB drive, combined with Olivia's evidence, was a ticking bomb. I glanced at Audrey, who was on her phone in the kitchen, oblivious to Nora's presence. "What about Eric?" I asked. Nora's lips thinned. "He's meeting a client, but I tipped off his VP. They're watching him." I nodded my plan, shifting. Confronting them now would be chaos. Instead, I'd let the bank's investigation do the heavy lifting while I protected my kids. Audrey's behavior grew erratic. She canceled the trip to Grandma's, claiming a work emergency. But the camera caught her texting. "Eric, Wes knows something. We need to leave tonight." My stomach churned. "Leave where?" "With my kids," I called Rachel, needing her clarity. She met me at a park, her dark hair pulled back, her eyes steady. "Wes, you can't let her take them," she said. "File for full custody." Now I hesitated. Custody meant exposing Audrey's affair, dragging Lila and Noah through a public mess. Rachel's hand grazed mine. "You're their dad. Fight for them." Her words lit a fire. I called Ethan, greenlighting the custody battle, but a new fear gnawed at me. What if Audrey ran before the court could act? The third twist was a gut punch. Olivia intercepted a call between Audrey and Eric, recorded from the car bug. The bank's sniffing around, Eric hissed. "If they find the offshore account, we're done." Audrey's voice cracked. "Then we take what's left and go. I'll get the kids." Eric paused, then said, "Leave Noah. He's not mine." My heart stopped. Not mine. The DNA test flashed in my mind. Noah wasn't mine biologically, but Eric's words confirmed he was Noah's father. The betrayal wasn't just Audrey's affair. It was a lie that reshaped my son's existence. I sat in my office, the audio looping, each word a fresh wound. Noah's laughter, his trust in me. How could I protect him from this truth? I acted fast. Ethan filed for an injunction blocking Audrey from leaving Virginia with the kids. I moved Lila and Noah to my sister Jenna's house, a cozy ranch outside town, under the guise of a family weekend. Jenna, a no-nonsense nurse, saw my strain but didn't pry. "They're safe here, Wes," she said, hugging me. Lila sensed the tension, texting me. "Is Mom okay?" I replied. "She's figuring things out. Stay with Aunt Jenna." Noah was oblivious playing board games, but Lila's silence told me she knew more than I wanted. Back home, Audrey was frantic, her duffel bag still packed. The camera showed her on the phone pleading with Eric. "We can't wait anymore," she cried. Eric's voice was cold. "Handle Wes, or I'm out." The fourth twist was the bank's move. Olivia tipped me off the compliance officer had frozen Eric's department account citing irregularities. Eric was called into a closed-door meeting and Audrey was summoned for questioning. I watched the camera as she paced our living room, her phone buzzing with unread messages from Eric. "They're on to us," she texted him, unaware I had access. I sent Ethan the screenshots bolstering our divorce case. But a new fear emerged. Eric's desperation. Olivia flagged a purchase on his credit card, a burner phone, and a rental car booked for tonight. Was he planning to grab Audrey and run, or something worse? I confronted Audrey that evening alone in our kitchen, the air heavy with rain. "I know about Eric," I said, my voice steady. "The money, the condo, the lies." Her face crumpled, but she didn't deny it. "Wes, I was lost," she whispered, tears spilling. "Eric made me feel alive." I held up the DNA results, my hand trembling. "Noah's not mine. Was that part of feeling alive?" Her sob was raw, but it didn't reach me. "I didn't mean to hurt you," she said. I stepped closer, my voice low. "You didn't just hurt me. You hurt our kids." I laid out my terms. "Leave the house. Stay away from Lila and Noah, or I'd send the bank's evidence to the police." She nodded, broken, and packed a bag. I didn't watch her go. The fifth twist was Eric's retaliation. 2 days later, as I left my office, a man in a ski mask shoved me against my car, a knife glinting. "Drop the bank thing," he growled, "or your kids get it." I fought back, adrenaline surging, and he fled, but not before nicking my arm. Blood soaked my sleeve as I called Olivia. She traced the attacker to a local thug paid through Eric's cousin's account. I didn't go to the police, too risky with the bank's investigation ongoing. Instead, I met Eric at a deserted lot. My arm bandaged, Olivia's evidence in my pocket. "Call off your dogs," I said, tossing him a photo of the thug or the bank. "Nora and every client you've got sees this." Eric's jaw tightened, but he nodded. "You're making a mistake, Holt." I walked away, rain soaking my coat. "You already did." Weeks later, the sixth twist unfolded. The bank fired Audrey and Eric. Their fraud exposed. Audrey's reputation tanked. Friends and family shunned her. She moved to a cheap apartment, a shadow of her former self. Eric's marriage collapsed. Nora took their daughter and half his assets. But the real blow was Noah. I sat him down, Lila at his side, and told them about the divorce, sparing the DNA. "Truth, Mom made mistakes," I said. "But I'm your dad, always." Noah hugged me, tears falling, and Lila whispered, "We love you, Dad." Their trust was my anchor, but the pain lingered. Had I protected them or scarred them? Months passed. I sold the house, its memories too heavy, and moved with Lila and Noah to a new home near Jenna's. My firm thrived, and Rachel became a constant, her laughter, her strength pulling me from the dark. One night she kissed me soft and certain, and I let myself feel again. But a letter arrived from Audrey, slipped under my door. "Wes, I'm sorry I broke us. I didn't burn it. I kept it unopened." A reminder of what I'd survived. Standing on my porch, rain falling, I wondered, was I free or forever marked by her lies? What would you have done, fought, or forgiven? This * cheating wife story * ends here, but the questions linger. If Wesley's journey hit you, smash that like button, share your thoughts, and subscribe to Viora for more stories that sear the soul. "Love builds a home," I told Noah once, "but betrayal builds you." What did it build me into? You tell me.